On those veteran players, when you come into training camp and you know you're going to be on this main roster, this is an opportunity without the stakes being high to test out some lines and some chemistry on special teams units. What have you seen out of this Devils camp so far?
Yeah, I think anytime you come into a training camp, you're trying to obviously do your best and show your best to prove, and show what you can do. And that's kind of what my goal is, to come every day and work. And, I'm obviously putting a really good opportunity in, starting camp with Bratter and Jack. So just trying to do the best I can every day and create some chemistry and keep moving forward.
There's a lot of chemistry with you three already. What do you attribute to that?
Well, obviously they're both great players, so just trying to read off of them. I think that's something that I've always kind of been good at is, being a smarter player and finding open holes. And they're two guys that have, a ton of skill, extremely talented players. So they create a lot of opportunities themselves. And like I said, I'm just trying to get open and get them the puck.
You understand how long a playoff run can go and how much depth you need to have as a team. So how important is it for at training camp people to get familiar with roles they're not going to necessarily play all the time, whether it's special teams or jumping in a different deep pairing or line?
Yeah, it's an opportunity for everybody. Everybody has a chance, like I said, to show what they can bring to the team, whether that's power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, whatever it is. So you gotta bring it every day and show it in the games.
John, training camp's a great opportunity without the pressures of the regular season to try some things out, and we've seen some players who are on special teams units that typically aren't, and also playing with different players and lines or pairings. What have you seen so far with using this time wisely?
Yeah, it's there's a couple new guys here. Just kind of develop that chemistry, get to know each other a little more, and it's pretty much the same guys, but obviously some new faces in the room. So you kind of want to use this opportunity to do that.
And I know you played with Kevin Ball, especially at the end of the playoffs there last year. But what have you seen out of his game this year?
Yeah, he played a lot better towards the end of the year, and he got a lot better too. And I think it showed so far in training camp here. So yeah.
And what are you looking forward to with this group when it comes to how much depth there is, especially at this training camp?
Yeah, you can even see it in the preseason games. You don't even have the full, maybe not everyone playing, but, even with guys at the camp too, you're still able to win games. And, I think that's going to be such a big part of our team this year is the depth.
And these preseason games, I know we've talked with you and other players about the conditioning of actually playing game action. How are you feeling getting a couple games in?
Yeah, it's always nice to get those first couple on your feet, first preseason games, and you go from someone hockey, someone trying to hit you in the corner. It's a little different. But yeah, it kind of comes with training camp. That's what we're here for, and yeah.
And just with the systems, how flexible are these systems to allow people to slot in different ways, especially if it is a next man up situation?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's pretty easy. I wouldn't more, it's like just a tight room. Everyone kind of knows each other, knows the way each other plays. See it in the preseason games, see it in training camp and practice every day. So I think that goes a long way.
Lindy, when we saw last season, you need to have a lot of depth with this team. How can you use this training camp as an opportunity to teach people different roles that they might not be doing during the regular season, but if it's a next man opportunity, that would be when they need to be sharp?
Well, part of that is going through practice. Sometimes a player that's usually playing on the wing will play center, or their center plays wing. And, we've put different players with different lines because even during games, maybe there's somebody that's not going well, we'll play with somebody else. And I think that's something that we really got accustomed to, and the guys really handle it well.
And with the systems, how does it allow for that flexibility for people to be able to shift so quickly?
Well, I think the one thing you focus in on in practice is making sure that we're hardwired to how we need to play. That doesn't matter what position, you understand what the responsibility is coming back into your own end.
And as we're getting through training camp, what's next? What do you still want to see from this group in making decisions or just moving forward with how you're going to even pair up players?
Well, I think we touched on it last night with our puck management. I thought that was the poorest of our three games when it comes to managing the puck, where we turned it over, we gave them opportunities, we created a lot of their offense came over poor puck play. So, again, we talked about that this morning, and going forward, we want to clean up the game. If the other team's tight-gapped and all you got is to get it in deep, you get it in deep. And then protecting pucks in your own end when you're under duress.
What's the biggest leap you've seen in Kevin Ball's skating ability?
I think strength and endurance. There isn't a lot of fatigue in his game, and I think that it comes with maturity. That you get stronger. He probably fits into his body more now than he did a couple of years ago. And you see that with a lot of players like that are, tall, lanky, that, get a little bit stronger, get a little bit more pop in their stride, get a little bit more quickness.
Does that make him someone you can rely on more, knowing that he has that ability at a different level?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is yes, because, those are good attributes to have. I think you always point to areas of improvement for young players when it comes to skating. We spent a lot of time with Alex talking about Alex's skating and where that's at, and we've seen a difference at this camp. So from player to player, I think if you looked at Jack in year one to where Jack is at now, a lot of it you'd point to being stronger, training the right way in the summer to give you that advantage when you do get to camp.
What do you feel maybe a defenseman like him can feel in his game with his skating getting better? Well,
I think the one thing is you can get involved offensively and be able to get back. I think you look at how he jumped up and scored the goal last night. That's a key component to how we play.
How did Luke play last night? We didn't get to ask you that after the game.
I thought Luke handled the game well, felt well, so it was really good to see. I thought there was a lot of good things in the game. I thought his power play execution was real good. So, for the first game in, it was evident he skated well. I thought today at practice, again, really skated well. So, off to the next game.